Hello. How you guys doing today? I'm sure you've had a lot of exciting days so far. I want to believe that can be said for everyone watching this video right about now. Yeah, it's a good time to be live. It's an exciting period. It's really a good time. It's really a good time to be where we are right now. Okay, it's really a good time, and today's been a good day as well in the market. Okay, I haven't been very active in the market today. I've been occupied with a few things, and this would be this would be probably. I think this should probably be. Wait, have I checked the market today? Okay, just check my trades earlier. I didn't really analyze a lot. Just check my trades and saw what's going on generally. Generally, you know, I'm really taking time to really break down what's happening, and that's what we're about to do right now. That's what we're about to do right now. Okay, that's what we're about to do right now. So let me just get right into it. Share my screen, and we'll see what's going on our chat. See what's going on our chat, and market should be closed right now. I think it should be the break period. So market should be closed right now. Okay, so I had a trade earlier. That was a lesson. So let's see what happened for that trade. So what happened was this trade. This trade was a funny one. And this is the pattern about. This is okay. Good. This is the importance of learning from trades. And I remember I learned this lesson a while ago. I thought I already mastered it, so I took it. I took it out of my lesson notes, out of my keynote. I thought I already mastered it. Now the lesson I had was no sloppy trading. This was a sloppy trade. This was a sloppy trade. In what sense? This trade was analyzed way earlier than this. It was analyzed somewhere around there, somewhere around, I guess, I think somewhere around there, thereabouts. When was this? It was about 11 a.m. Okay, 11 a.m. on Monday. Okay, thereabouts. 11 a.m. on Monday. Okay, yeah, thereabouts. In the morning, good. It was in the morning. It was in Monday morning. It was a Monday morning. Probably around earlier than 11. If I were my saying, yeah, around that time on Monday. Okay, thereabouts. So, and when was I think it was even wait, oh my god, look at me. It was even less than that. Okay, it's around there. And I don't, yeah, something like this. Something like this. And trade was probably something like this. And basically, I had this trade earlier, right? So the reason why it came forward was just to allow my screen so I can see what's going on earlier. So I took it a bit to the side. Okay. Trade came up. I think, yeah, I think it was around there. And the time I'm seeing it around. Okay, good. Good. It can't be less than 8 because now I was not really. Yeah, it can't be less than this. So trade was analyzed around there. So I was looking at the market to come down into this area and trigger trigger a buy for me. Now the trade was triggered at this point, but at this point it is no longer a good trade. At this point, my trade should be starting from somewhere around here, thereabout. This should be my ideal entry for a trade at this point. And with such an entry, my stop loss will have been way tighter than this, definitely. Probably something like this. Probably something like this. More just to accommodate this. Good. Good. So this will have been my stop loss, something like this. Then my TP with this would have been way, way, way lower. Something around there. You know. And if I had this trade, I would have made money on this trade. Let me show you proof of that. At the same, when it was getting close to that period, I actually set up this trade. Okay, I actually set up this trade, and I was preparing to take this signal that I created. What I noticed that it was close to this signal that was already existing. Now, what I did, the mistake I did was I did not actually, look at the chart and saw the disparity between the ideal entry point and where I actually entered from. I didn't look at the disparity between where my entry price for this trade was and where my ideal entry point should be. I didn't really see a visual display of how that should be. So I underestimated that difference, and I because I don't want to have multiple. I don't want to have I don't want to buy leverage on the same signal more or less, because it's still the same buy in the same area, more or less, generally more or less. So that was why I did not take this trade. I trusting that okay, this one and would do what I wanted. Well, you guys can see what happened. The trade entry was I entered early. Because I entered too early, I had to exit much later than I was supposed to. Having my first exit outside the channel is completely untenable. Like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Basically, that trade was a sloppy one. It was a sloppy trade, and I got the lesson from that. And I hope I've learned. I hope this is a reminder to me good. Because like I said, I've learned this lesson some months back, and I already thought I mastered it. Fortunately, I relaxed. I dropped my guard, and I was slowly reverting back to sloppy trading. And I'm happy for that reminder. It's a wake up call for me, and also a wake up call for you, my student, that sloppy trading is not the way to go. It's not the way to go. Don't get tempted into believing stories of sloppy trading making people rich overnight. No, it hasn't worked that way. It doesn't work that way. People like that, you don't know how many perfect trades that they've done. I don't just have one sloppy trade, and that made them what got them where they are today. So you want to take some ideas, some expectations, some stories too seriously. You want to do the right thing as much as possible. So when the pleasant surprises do happen, they'll be coming from a place of having earned it more or less, having paid the price to earn something as incredible as that, more or less, and not just fluke. Yes, of course, fluke. Fluke is a big word. Something that look like a fluke can just be science from another perspective. A fluke can just be pure science, pure rules, pure laws from another perspective. So that's the other thing that I want to quickly address to you guys before I call it a session is how I got the signal, because I clearly did not use the channel to get the signal. This was not a channel. This was what some call it imbalance, some call it fair value gap. Some call it imbalance, some call it fair value gap. Okay, so market had a powerful impulsive move at this point, and when market gives you such an impulsive move, then it is called imbalance, and market will have a tendency of filling it back up before determining a direction, whether to continue on the impulsive direction or finding a new direction. So the market was these powerful impulsive moves, and it has to fill it back. Now the filling back is in relation to the left of that impulsive move, like the the recent time, the recent price action, price movement before the impulsive move and the price movement after the impulsive move. They have to fill it up. Now, the recent price movement before this impulsive move has filled it up to this level. Okay. Now the subsequent price action at this point is filled it up at this point, leaving this as the imbalance that the price has to fill one way or the other. As you can see, kept filling it. At this point, it filled it to this level. At this point, it filled it to this level, leaving between this and this. That one I now drew out what was left. And someone that sees this will think, okay, market wants to start going up. No, it wasn't going up yet. It wasn't going anywhere yet. It wasn't going anywhere yet. Based on that channel channel we had on the other chart, it's easy to say, okay, I think it could move now, but no, it wasn't moving anywhere. There was still something to chase. There was still something to go and pick up over there. That was how this came up. So I set my entry in the middle of that area, so that because I knew there was spread difference, broker differences, the way it is, the exact value on these charts may not be the same as the exact value on my broker. So instead of setting my entry as the preferred option of just the limits of the target, I put my entry in between the zone, so that no matter what happens, I'm kind of able to follow the ride. My stop loss, I could have put it just after the zone, but this is gold. I don't want to be too greedy. Should I put it that way? I don't want to be too greedy. I wanted to allow myself a bit of breathing space, breathing room, and just wanted to allow it to breathe a bit. So I gave it a bit of room, and then my TP was set and see what happened. Triggered exactly where I expected it to trigger, and then it went into TP. At this point, I would have made my money and broken even on all the other entries. So that's where our trade came from, and that's another big lesson, another opportunity to improve. So you can watch this video repeatedly to gain a bit of mastery on that. You may not need to master everything now, but just get a general idea of imbalances. When you see big moves like this, big heavy moves, go and check. Price always tend to sooner or later. Sometimes it's very soon, very fast. Price comes back to that comes back to retrace that impulsive move. Sometimes it goes up, maybe later in the future before it now comes to to explore and fill up that impulsive move. And this happens more often than not. This happens more often than not. Happens again and again and again and again. Now someone can ask me, so why was it still going down? Well, the market, it will always reveal itself. It will always do what it wants to do. What you can do is just to make money where you can. We saw an opportunity to make money here, and we did. Hypothetically, theoretically, we did. So everything that's happened after that, it's not really a big deal. Our money has been made, and we are already out of the market. To an extent, everything else is just extra. It's just bonus, because I had the main bulk of our positions. So I'm at TP1. Everything else is just bonus and extra point. Guys, what I'm talking about. Look at this impulsive move and imbalance. Now see what happens. At the left side, it has been filled to this point, right, to this area. That's what market did. It came and filled the excess. It came and filled the ones that were left. As you can see, just where the previous one stopped is where the new one continued. So it filled up that imbalance before it continued. It's right now. If we were on this chart when this happened, we could have just set our entry So now our entry price to this, our stop loss somewhere around there, and just make our money. That is money on the table. But there was a time that I was actually working on an imbalance trading strategy. I can't remember exactly what happened then. Maybe it did not really work for all scenarios, but it's something that you can see play out already. Two consecutive times. So when it works, it works, and it works many times. That's why it's a thing. People, some call it fair value gap. Like I said, in English, that's all right. We'll make it simple for ourselves. Now some call it imbalance. That's the general idea of it. Of course, there's more to it than that, but let's leave it at that. Let's not. I like making things simple and easy for you guys, my students. The simpler the better, the easier the better. There is no need. There is no. I don't see. Personally, I don't get any advantage from making things that are easy seem difficult. Making things I would rather make things that are difficult seem easy, so that everyone can get it done. Because belief is one big thing in life. You are what you believe. You get what you believe. You see what you believe. That's just the reality of life. That will be all for today. Remember, you can do it if you believe you can. I love that phrase.